Welcome to today's explainer. Have you ever stared at a massive pile of data, spreadsheets everywhere, your third cup of coffee totally gone, wondering how on earth you're going to turn this chaotic mess into a presentation that actually makes sense? Well, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're diving into storyboarding and visual design. We're going to see how top strategy consultants turn tangled logic into a crisp, executive-ready story. Think of it as a masterclass in making your ideas absolutely bulletproof. So picture this. You're Rohan, the marketing lead at Bharat Mart. You're presenting a postmortem on the Diwali Express delivery campaign, which kind of underperformed. You've done the math, you have the screenshots, the tables, a massive slide deck. But as you present, Ananya, the CEO, just stops you and asks, "What is the one decision you want from us?" Ouch, right? Why does this happen? Why do so many data-heavy presentations completely fail to get executive buy-in? Well, here is our game plan to figure that out. We're going to cover the presentation problem, top-down pyramid structure, storyboarding for the audience, the one message per chart rule, and finally, removing visual noise. Let's get right into it. Section 1, the presentation problem. Why is Rohan's highly detailed bottom-up analysis bombing in the boardroom? It's all about the cluttered deck. Lots of data, but absolutely zero decisions. Rohan's slides are jammed with charts, arrows, and tiny text. But here's the thing. A slide with way too many messages creates confusion, not clarity. You could have the most brilliant solution in the world, backed by a multi-megabyte financial model, but if your CEO can't digest it, they can't act on it. A presentation needs to be designed around a decision, not just a data dump of everything you know. Which brings us to this classic McKinsey principle. We help our clients make change happen. Notice they don't say we show our clients all the spreadsheets. The whole point of your presentation is to secure buy-in and drive action. And doing that requires you to aggressively filter your data and craft a compelling narrative. You have to leave things out if they don't move the story forward. Moving on to Section 2, top-down pyramid structure. This is where Asha, a strategy consultant, steps into Rohan's meeting room, clears the table, and says, "Structure first, design second." Before opening any software, Asha puts blank cards on the wall. She's utilizing Barbara Minto's pyramid principle. The human mind naturally sorts information into pyramids just to make sense of the world, so we shouldn't make our audience work harder than they need to. Give them information that's already structured, starting with one single overarching thought at the top, supported by logical groupings of ideas right underneath it. To build this pyramid, you've got 3 strict rules. First, any idea must summarize the grouping below it. Second, keep those groupings uniform, like you can't mix marketing tactics and warehouse rent, unless you jump up to a broader category like campaign costs. And third, order them logically. Asha literally writes on the whiteboard, who is the audience? What do they know? Your core argument has to be this solid before you ever touch a slide design. There's a huge difference between how we work and how we present. We do the work bottom up, gathering all that scattered data, but we absolutely must present top down. Why? It's related to Miller's magical number 7. Our short-term memory can really only hold about 7 things at once. If you just dump your scattered bottom-up findings on an executive like Ananya, she's going to get overwhelmed. Top-down delivery groups the data and gives her the structured insight right up front. Okay, Section 3, storyboarding for the audience. Now that we have our pyramid, how do we turn that into a storyboard that practically designs itself? We use the SCQA framework. It's brilliant. You start with the situation and establish truths everyone agrees on, like we launched the Diwali campaign. Then the complication, what triggered the problem? Deliveries were delayed. This sparks a question in the CEO's mind. So what should we do? And your presentation is the answer. This framework turns scattered analysis into a logical journey. You're hooking them with a classic narrative pattern. To sum up storyboarding, start with a question they already have. Use that storytelling pattern to lead them by the hand. The flow should be smooth. Problem, evidence, cause, options, recommendation. Every single slide must move the audience forward. If the slide doesn't advance that specific story, you gotta cut it. Next up, Section 4, one message per chart. We've got the story, now let's talk visual execution. It all starts with the headline. Rohan originally used a vague title, Campaign Performance. Okay, but what about it? Asha changes it to an insight headline, Late Deliveries Damaged Repeat Orders. See the difference? The title needs to state the actual insight. The headline should tell the reader exactly what to learn, not just vaguely name the topic. Which leads us to the golden rule of consulting decks. Keep it simple. One message per chart. If you have a cluttered chart with 3 different findings, you need to break that up. Create separate visuals for each point. A slide should support one clear insight, period. Think of it like this donut chart. 80% of your slide's focus should just absolutely scream that one core insight. The other 20% is the supporting context they need so it actually makes sense. If you isolate your single message like this and match the chart type to the message, like using a trend line for time or a waterfall for financials, your point becomes impossible to miss. Finally, Section 5, removing visual noise. This is where you become a ruthless editor. Asha looks at the deck and starts stripping things away. She removes extra colors, wild 3D effects, duplicate labels, and useless grid lines. Good design removes literally anything that does not support the message. Use visuals to get a point across, not to show off how well you know the charting software. Remember, simpler slides are almost always stronger slides. So look at the before and after. A messy dashboard with a cluttered data dump gets you very low buy-in because nobody knows what to look at. But when you create a structured visual argument, one key number, one clear chart, one short note, your buy-in skyrockets. You've created visual hierarchy, guiding the CEO's attention perfectly. In the end, Rohan's revised presentation is just 5 clean slides ending with a clear recommendation, a zone-wise relaunch. Ananya looks at it and says, "Now I understand the decision." Because a great presentation is not an art project, folks. It is a structured argument made visible. The clear deck was built from a clear argument. So I've got to ask, will your next presentation just display data, or will it drive a decision? Next time you have a big meeting, don't just open PowerPoint. Plan the story on the wall. Write the real message, choose the right visual, and strip away the noise. Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer. Now go out there and make change happen.